Not sure how much longer we can follow.
Spike strip should take this perp out.
Need for Speed Unbound is kind of weird. It's a fun racing game and there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but I'm just a little confused by some of the choices that the developers made in regards to gameplay and the overall style of it. I'm no racing game expert. I'm no racing simulator expert. I do play the Formula 1 racing game. I'm terrible at it, but I do have fun playing it. I've been playing Need for Speed games since I was really young. Like, I think Need for Speed Carbon was probably the first game I played on the Wii. Me and my sister would play that game all the time. Not really doing well in it. We would just like run away from the cops. And like, I remember Need for Speed Most Wanted. I played on, I think, Xbox 360. Overall, I mean, I just really play racing games because I love cars and I love tuning cars and owning cars in the game and driving them that I would never be able to drive in real life. But you know, that's the reality. We move. But most of the time I just play the campaign, unlock all the cars that I want to unlock, and then move on to like another RPG game. I don't find myself going back to racing games a lot or doing most of the online stuff, mainly because I have the online connection of a rock. So, but yeah, like I said, I've been playing Need for Speed games for a long time, and Need for Speed Unbound is the most recent of the numerous Need for Speed games following Need for Speed Heat, which was released in 2019, which I also really enjoyed that game. I played that game almost every day for almost like 2 months. I was obsessed with it for whatever reason. And overall, Need for Speed Unbound is very Need for Speedy, I guess. It's different from a lot of your other racing games, and I think that they've definitely improved on some things, but some things are just really confusing and really weird. For starters, the whole anime cartoon effects, I don't really get that. I don't know why they went that route or who decided that that was a good idea. I'm as big as an anime fan as the next guy. I mean, come on, I watch anime all the time. I watch movies, play anime games, I do it all, but does it need to be here? That's my question, is what I'm a little confused about. And I mean, on one hand, it does look cool. At least it's some cool effects into some cool moments during the races and some of the police chases, but it's also just random. I just don't know why they saw the need to do it, and it's even weirder since it's only the characters and the effects that are cartoony and nothing else. Everything else is just your standard open world. The cars are not cartoony, except for the effects during the races and sometimes when you boost, all those things. But the buildings are regular. The NPCs are also cartoony, and the NPCs are also irrelevant. They don't really add much. They kind of just teleport out of your way. But I personally feel like they were a little too scared to fully commit to a fully cartoon style, but I also think they were trying too hard to appeal to a certain demographic and thought the game couldn't stand well enough on its own without them. Because in the grand scheme of things, this game is Need for Speed Heat with cartoon effects and other slight improvements. I saw a comment under another video of someone playing the game, I think during the early release stages, and it was like, this game is being heavily impacted by TikTok. It's the TikTok effect, basically, is what they were saying in that comment. And yeah, I can see that. It is heavily influenced by TikTok, and I feel like a lot of the things they chose were based off of a lot of trends. But I mean, Travis Scott's in the game.
Man, you driving like you stole it. I like your style.
Kind of. He doesn't add anything to the story or the narrative or anything. He's kind of just there. But yeah, he's there if that's something you're interested in. Also, you can change the effects, but you can't turn them off, so they really committed to uncommitting. They committed to uncommitting. Continuing discussion about the visuals, the city of Chicago is kind of lame. Not in real life. I'm sure it's a beautiful city and cold, but in the game it's just empty, bland, boring. And I think that's due to the effects being so much and so overpowered and so vibrant that they thought they had to kind of tone down the city, or either that or they just didn't put as much effort as they put into the effects. You can see the effects and you can tell that they put a lot of effort into them. I don't know if they did actually. They're kind of all the same, just different colors and like one different little crown over the top of the car or whatever. But the city itself is lacking a lot. It does remind me of Need for Speed Heat with like far less. Like Need for Speed Heat was like neon, eye-catching. There were so many things to see visually. It was just beautiful, vibrant. I felt like the city was popping out of the screen. But in this game, it is not. I mean, like I said, other than the NPCs that teleport magically out of harm's way, so there's nothing there. They don't really, I don't know if they really talk to you or yell at you. I think they do like scream in terror when you're about to run them over, but you never do. That's not a thing that can happen in this game. But like I said, I think it's because of how aggressive the effects are that they maybe thought it was like a contrast between the two, like dull city, bright effects. So I think they expected you only to be really focused on the visuals in the car, but I mean, the buildings are just dull, the environment's dull, and something doesn't seem right. It's either the effects or the city. Something is not mixing well together. Like I said, it's just weird. This isn't to say that it takes too much away from the gameplay. I still do enjoy driving for the most part, but like, it's just weird. That's it.
Hey, yo, yes. What's up? Long time. Yo, is that my car? Yeah, one you stole. The same night you ripped off the garage.
Damn!
The dialogue, Lord have mercy. The dialogue in the main campaign is just so awkward and cringy. Like, they tried to make the characters come off as cool, especially Jasmine, but she just came off as like a corny wannabe thug. Like, it was bad.
I know you're not coming at me right now.
I mean, it's a racing game, so the focus isn't on the dialogue, clearly, but come on. It's just kind of painful, especially with the phone calls when you're driving through the city and like the main character and Rydell are talking on the phone. Rydell's like this older guy, so I mean, I think they want his dialogue to be cringy, but it's like, this is where it would be in a normal conversation between an older guy with like a little cringiness. This is where it is. It's too much. If you don't really pay attention to the cutscenes and the dialogue, you can get by just well enough with the racing itself and with the car chases, which we'll get to in a second. The cop chases do have their own little faults within themselves, but the dialogue is a small gripe in the main scheme of things, but it is something that I have to touch on, which again begs the question, who are the developers trying to appeal to with this type of dialogue? With the dialogue choices and the over-top effects and cartoony style, they even add in some like fake anime details in the game. There's like some shirts with like these anime girls on them. There's this one character who's like a weeb or whatever, and he really likes anime, and he's always like playing games on his phone or like his little gaming device. I think, like I said, they were trying to appeal to this like TikTok generation. I don't know if you've heard of when people talk about like the newer generation of like SpongeBob episodes that are so overstimulating and so much. This is what this game is like to me. The older SpongeBob episodes were just so subtly funny. Like, I love SpongeBob. I watch SpongeBob all the time. But the newer episodes to me are like, they're trying so hard to be funny and trying to appeal to this younger generation that grew up with phones, I guess. I don't know what it is. The senses have to be overstimulated for, I guess, some people to be interested in it. I don't know if they thought that the game couldn't stand well enough on its own, but there is still a very large fan base of racing games that would have been fine without all these little subtle added effects and things that they added to the game. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. I probably am. But anyways, that was kind of a long tangent that wasn't in the script at all. But I like I said, I always go off the script. The script does not exist in my eyes. This, of course, is my opinion, so some people may love the game and some people may genuinely despise it. For me, the gameplay isn't suffering so much, like I said, although I do find the police chases far too easy for whatever reason that is. In Need for Speed Heat, I would literally never want to race if the heat level was above 3. I was like genuinely terrified because I was always getting caught. If it was 5-star heat or level 5 heat, I was not making it back to the garage. Like, I just wouldn't do it. I would lose my money. It'll be a wasted day. But in this game, there's no stakes for that. Like, I will be out 5 level heat. The only thing that's keeping me from races is the fact that the cops are just spawning at every intersection. You cannot even move, so I have to go back, or I'm just gonna be doing police chases for 2 hours to get what, $10,000. The game feels a little more grindy because you have to buy into the races. I don't think you had to do that in Need for Speed Heat. And Need for Speed Unbound, you have to buy into the races. And you can also place bets. You'll come into a race and it'll be like, oh, you can win $32,000, but you have to pay $16,000 to enter the race. So you're only getting $16,000 if you win first place, which that in itself, getting first place in this game, that's not really gonna happen too often, especially early game. You might get third, you might get second, but you're not getting first. This game does not want you to win a lot of the races. So what, you're gonna pay $16,000 to get into a race, and you're gonna make maybe $4,000 out of it. So you have to do a lot of racing, but that's early game. Like later on in the game, you can bust out the races and you can get first place, which, I mean, yeah, that's the nature of the game. You're tuning the car basically the way that you want it. Speed, drifting, all of that feels the same. All of that feels like Need for Speed. It's just the little details that make it feel like they wanted it to be a standout from the rest of them. But it is, but I don't know if it's in the right ways. I went on another tangent, that's fine. We move. The police chases, I like the tiers that they added. They made it very defined. Like, once you get to level 1, you have your basic level of cops. Level 2, you have your interceptors, which are the Corvettes. No, that's level 3. Level 2 is when the all-wheel drive comes in, so the Ford Explorers, which is cool to see because I actually drive a Ford Explorer in real life. It's not my car, it's just the car that I drive. It's my dad's car. But then you get, 5-star is when the SWAT team comes in, so it's like pickup trucks that have 1,000 horsepower. It's insane. The pickup trucks are faster than the interceptors. I don't know what that's about. But then there's also helicopters. I do like that they added the tiers in, but the tiers don't matter because it's so easy to get away. It says you can't outrun the interceptors, but you literally can. Even with my A-level car, which is the second level of cars which you can upgrade to, second out of like 5 or 6, I'm still outrunning interceptors with like a 1969 Dodge Charger. Really? Like, I mean, yeah, it's a fast car, but good lord, I don't even have the fastest stuff yet. I guess I'm just gonna be cruising through a police chase when Endgame comes around. It does take the stakes away completely. The stakes are non-existent, but maybe that's to encourage, like I said, younger audiences to explore the game and they won't have to struggle as much. But like I said, I don't really know. This is all speculation and this is all just my opinion. I guess at the grand scheme of things, to conclude, the game is fun, but I just don't get why they did some of the things that they did. These games have worked for years, the audiences have grown for years, so like why force the changes now? Change is good, but not in every case. Like, change doesn't always need to happen. If it's not broken, don't set it ablaze and beat it with a shovel. Just don't, you don't have to stray so far away. It's good to try new things, but this is like completely different. Some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I guess it's probably gonna grow on me, but it just feels weird that these types of changes are being made to the game when no one was really thinking about it or asking for it. But that's just my opinion. It's always just my opinion. It's always just me ranting, talking about things that I want to talk about. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, or do none of the above. That's really up to you. If you enjoyed the video, you can share it or you cannot share it. It's always just free to do whatever you want. I'm not gonna sit here and judge you or anything, but I just appreciate that you clicked on the video in the first place. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to check out some of my other videos or just wait for the next video to come out, whatever I'm gonna end up reviewing. I know there's some new games coming out. 2023 is the year of games for me. I'm very excited about some of the games coming out, so there's definitely gonna be some more reviews coming out. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.